Hey, guys, it's me today on the show. Bernie Sanders announces and the media does a Smollet Mulligan. Stick around for that.
It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Here is Rob Carson. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here today. And glad to have you checking out The Range. Brand new network of Terry Littlepage's creation. I am glad to be a part of it. And just thanks for joining me today. I got a lot of stuff to get to. Bernie Sanders announces he's going to run for president, the fresh face of the Democrat Party. And you're going to be amazed by how he looks. He trimmed his eyebrows and they cleaned him up, and he might have even brushed his teeth. It's pretty crazy. And then, of course, the Jussie Smollett story. The media does it again. They fall for a false narrative. And they do a faceplant like they did with the Covington boys. So we're going to get to that on the show. Also, a little bit later on, snow in a place that never snows. And some very graphic footage of a lion attack. Stick around for that. Check out tpublic.com. Conservatees. Got about 80 designs there. You can see them on the screen. Okay, right there. Mm-hmm. They're politically incorrect. They're funny. They're meant to make a point with humor, which is something I like to do and have done my entire career as a syndicated political satirist. I'm a satirist. Yeah. So check them out, will you? Go there and buy a T-shirt, buy a mug for your desk. Veganism is an eating disorder. That's one. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, dimwit offering free. You know what? Hillary in 20 never. Socialism sucks. They're good stuff. Please order something and share with others on your timelines. That would be huge. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so Bernie Sanders announces he's going to run for president. Not a big surprise. And he has no ideas. He has nothing but hate for Donald Trump, essentially. That is all he is about. There's no change. There's no plan. Here is Bernie Sanders all cleaned up and making his announcement.
Hi, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for president, and I'm asking you today to be part of an unprecedented grassroots campaign of 1 million active volunteers in every state in our country.
That's a lot of volunteers because there are 50 states. So that's like 50 million people. Or is it maybe it's just a million. Yeah, it's a million people. Okay. So he's going to get a million people. Look at him. He combed his hair. He doesn't look as much like the disheveled, nutty professor that he normally does. And I think he may have even de-yellowed his teeth by a couple of shades. They're still pretty yellow.
Our campaign is not only about defeating Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in modern American history.
How?
It is not only about winning the Democratic nomination and the general election. Our campaign is about transforming our country and creating a government based on the principles of economic, social, racial, and environmental justice.
What does that mean?
Our campaign is about taking on the powerful special interests that dominate our economic and political life.
Okay. Couple of things. Donald Trump, not the most dangerous president in our recent history. How? Show me how. You socialist rat. You man who he took his wife. He took his wife on their honeymoon to the former Soviet Union. You know where his heart is. It's a very dark place. He is an old man who has not learned from history. He has not paid attention to the suffering of the others because he doesn't suffer. He was a complete and utter failure in the private sector, sleeping on other people's couches, scrambling for manual labor jobs because he couldn't do anything with his glorious college degree. Then he gets elected to office. Now he has, are you ready for this, kids? This socialist who wants us all to be the same, who wants us all to buy crappy cars and live in tiny little houses, who wants us all to reduce our carbon footprint. 3 houses, folks. He has 3 houses and he rents another one. This is typical of the ruling class versus the bourgeois, which is you and me. More of the same crap. And by the way, another thing. Donald Trump is what you just said. He is taking on the swamp in Washington, D.C. The swamp in Washington, D.C. This is more billionaire-hating bullshit from a Bolshevik.
I'm talking
I think I might have to copyright that. That was pretty good. Billionaire bullshit from a Bolshevik. Thank you.
about Wall Street, the health insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry.
He's got a whole bunch of enemies right there, you know, and that's it. That's what it is. It's a laundry list of enemies to whip up the masses.
The military-industrial complex, the private prison industry, and the large multinational corporations that exert such an enormous influence over our lives.
And you've probably gotten money from every single one of them, haven't you there? Burn. Feel the burn. It actually is kind of a burn because he used like Bengay on his joints. You know, there's a little burn. In some parts of your body, that stuff really burns, true. Yeah,
Our campaign is about redoubling our efforts to end racism, sexism, homophobia, religious bigotry, and all forms of discrimination.
We already do that. We already do that. What are you going to do? Bigotry, homophobia, all of the things that you just said. Look at him. Look at teeth. All of those things are on the decline and have been for a century. Yes, we have had our bumps and bruises and we've made some mistakes. But it is not on the rise. It is 1968 all over again. Why does this have to be part of a political platform? Why is this part of a political platform? You have to brainwash the masses so there cannot be a thought of racism, sexism, homophobia. It's always going to exist. It happens in Sweden. Now, discrimination based on all of those things, that's illegal already. So this is nonsense.
Our campaign is about creating a vibrant democracy with the highest voter turnout of any major country.
Okay, what are you going to do about the economy? Oh, you haven't mentioned the economy because the economy's kicking ass under Donald Trump.
On earth, while we end voter suppression, Citizens United, and outrageous levels of gerrymandering. Our
usually in the favor of Democrats.
Campaign is about creating a government and economy that works for the many, not just the few.
That's what Donald Trump is all about. You've been a part of the few. You are a part of the few. You are now an insider in Washington, D.C. Your public service has resulted in wealth that 99.9% of us never see. You are a part of that, Bernie. Donald Trump is not a part of that, Bernie.
We are the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. We should not have a grotesque level of wealth inequality in which
means he wants to take from the rich and give to everybody else.
3 billionaires now own more wealth than the bottom half of the country.
It sucks to be you. Okay, again, what have you given me as far as a plan? I don't hear a plan yet. I do not hear a plan yet. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not really sure. But apparently, there's no plan. I've got a piece of audio I want to play for you of Bunny. It's just the audio of his appearance on NPR. If I can find it here real quick. Let me see. La 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 la. All right. I guess I don't have it right now. No, it's the MP4. Oh, here. Let's. No, I don't think that's it. This is the video again. Oh,
by
here
just
we go.
operating inside the Beltway. The only way that I know first of all, I wanted to let the people of the state of Vermont know about this first.
There we go.
And what I promise to do is, as I go around the country, is to take the values that all of us in Vermont are proud of, our belief in justice, in community, in
None of us, I guess, believe in that, right? I mean, right? None of us believe in that. Drinking green tea, by the way. None of us believe in justice and equality. This is a new thing to Bernie Sanders, apparently.
grassroots politics at town meetings. That's what I'm going to carry all over this country. I think the current occupant of the White House is an embarrassment to our country. I think he is.
He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. The economy is rolling. Black unemployment is at an all-time low. Hispanic unemployment at an all-time low. Women in the workforce all-time high. Economy rocking and rolling. More high-paying jobs. Our position in on the world stage is much stronger today. We're kicking ISIS ass in the Middle East, particularly in Syria. We're bringing China to the trade table. We've redrawn NAFTA. So we're not being bee-slapped by the third world, and we've got a president who actually wants to protect our sovereignty by giving us a southern border.
A pathological liar every day. He is telling one lie or another. And it gives me no pleasure to say that. But I don't.
It does actually. In fact, you might even be pleasuring himself right now.
I also think he is a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, a xenophobe.
How is he a xenophobe? I'm trying to figure out how a president finally moving our embassy to Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, after president after president after president said that they would do it and never did. Finally, a president who had the balls to do it. Finally, Israel has a true friend in the United States. Barack Obama was not that. If you want to look at xenophobia, look at the previous president.
Somebody who is gaining cheap political points by trying to pick on minorities, often undocumented immigrants.
Nonsense.
And I cannot recall, certainly in my lifetime, and I think in modern history, that we've had a president who actually goes out of his way to try to divide the American people.
How does Donald Trump try to divide the American people? The media and the Democrat Party have done everything they can to divide the American people. Attacking people wearing MAGA hats, saying that we are racist, we are sexist, we are homophobic. The division is happening by the Democrats. The Democrats are intentionally driving a wedge between all of us. Barack Obama did that with all of the things I just mentioned. Split us up on the lines of race, sex, income, all of these things. How is Donald Trump doing that compared to our previous president?
Up based on where we were born, or
by the way, of course, he did his announcement on Vermont Public Radio because he knew he'd be treated with kid gloves.
Color of our skin, or
I think Martin Luther King had that before you did there, Bernie. And again, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. This is not what America needs. We already have this. We already have equality. Racism and sexism and homophobia are not at an all-time high. Why does this have to be some sort of a political platform? How about this? Do something for the country. How about this? Get the government off our backs, lower our taxes, strengthen our borders. How about those? Oh, I guess Donald Trump is already doing that.
Our agenda or whatever it may be.
Your agenda, shut up.
So, I think what a president has got to do is bring our people together and not divide us up. And that's certainly one reason I'm running. And the second reason is we began the political revolution in the 2016 campaign, and now it's time to move that revolution forward and make sure that that vision, those ideas are implemented into policy.
Nonsense. What he just said there was nonsense. There's nothing there. He's like making a snowball when there's nothing there. Give us a plan. Give us a plan. And Bernie, I mean, who's to say the Democrat Party is not going to screw you again like they did last time? And the Democrat Party screwed you, buddy. They made it. They rigged it so Hillary Clinton would win. Who says they're not going to do that again? Burn. The Democrat Party has lurched so far left. All of the candidates they're laughable. They're laughable. 77 years old. This is the fresh face of the Democrat Party with old ideas that have been tried elsewhere and last century resulted in the death of 100 million people. But don't worry. Those socialists, they didn't get it right, you see. I did talked about Sweden a couple weeks ago. And, John Stossel did a great piece on Sweden. That's what it was. John Stossel did a marvelous piece on Sweden and how the only thing that has saved Sweden from socialism is privatizing, allowing businesses to do things, allowing school choice in Sweden. So Sweden is not a socialist workers' paradise anymore. No. It's moved more capitalist and it's working. All right, let's move on from that sad sack. was that a Bolshevik? That was really good. I need to trademark that. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. I want to get into the whole Jussie Smollet thing and how the media has had a Smollet Mulligan, and they want to try and take it back, but it's too late because we've already seen the footage. We've already seen the media reinvesting in another narrative that they wanted, that Trump supporters beat up gay black guys, and we hate gay black guys. We hate gays, and we hate black people and brown people, and I'm so effing tired of this crap, this name-calling bull crap. And if you think that's going to win an election, good luck. Donald Trump was in Miami yesterday talking to an audience of Venezuelan Americans and expatriates, people who have fled Venezuela. 3 million people have fled Venezuela. Why would you flee a socialist workers' paradise? Because 90% of the people in Venezuela now live in abject poverty. People are starving to death. The favorite restaurant in Caracas is the zoo, oddly enough. You think I'm joking? Here is Donald Trump with some comments to expats from Venezuela. And by the way, Maduro is blocking food aid from the United States coming in from the country of Colombia, from the United States via Colombia. They're blocking it. They don't want our aid. They'd rather have their people starve. Here's the president.
We're here to proclaim a new day is coming in Latin America. It's coming.
Come on, baby.
The people of Venezuela are standing for freedom and democracy, and the United States of America is standing right by their side.
Venezuela is a microcosm compared to East Berlin and the fall of the Soviet Union. But we are going to see the fall of this dictator. We are going to see freedom return to Venezuela. And one of the reasons being is that guy right there.
Incredibly, there are members of the Venezuelan military still barely supporting this failed dictatorship. They are risking their future. They are risking their lives and Venezuela's future for a man controlled by the Cuban military and protected by...
Hugo Chavez, previous dictator in Venezuela. Do you know what his daughter is worth? You know what his daughter is worth? Because he's dead, thank goodness. He's down there smelling sulfur. She's worth $1 billion. Hugo Chavez never built anything and never sold anything. He stole it.
A private army of Cuban soldiers. Maduro is not a Venezuelan.
This is how billionaires are made in socialist countries. They're people like Bernie Sanders, who's now a multi-millionaire with 3 houses and rents another one. That's how billionaires are made in socialist countries. Rather than people building businesses, hiring people, rather than Amazon going into Queens and creating 25,000 jobs, $150,000 being the median wage, that would have been glorious. That would have been $25 billion. But unfortunately, Alexandria Idiota Cortez put the kibosh on that. But that's how we build billionaires in this country. And there's no reason to hate them. There's no reason to hate him. There's a reason to hate Hugo Chavez and his daughter.
Venezuelan patriot. He is a Cuban puppet. That's what he is.
Yes, he is.
You can choose to accept President Guaido's generous offer of amnesty to live your life in peace with your families and your countrymen. President Guaido does not seek retribution against you, and neither do we. But you must not follow Maduro's orders to block humanitarian aid, and you must not threaten any form of violence against peaceful protesters.
This is a good guy to have on your side. Ronald Reagan was a good guy to have on the side of the Russian people and the East Germans.
Opposition leaders, members of the National Assembly, or President Guaido and his family. We seek a peaceful transition of power but all options are open.
There you go. All options are open. The U.S. gets involved. It's over for Maduro. It's over. He's done. He deserves the end that so many dictators got in the past. He's not a good person. He's caused enormous misery on the heels of the death of the fat, bloated pig that glad-handed Barack Obama when he first took office and gave him a copy of, the Communist Manifesto? I'm not even sure what it was. But he deserves their end. Oh, let's talk about sponsors, shall we? All right, so I was on Twitter yesterday, and Dots Pretzels showed up, and there's a picture of this little girl who got caught eating the Dots Pretzels, and honestly, you can't stop eating them when you start eating them. They are absolutely the best pretzels ever, and I don't know how I can express more my love for the product. I met the man who made them, Tate Howe, and he lives in North Dakota, and that's where they started. It's a family recipe, and they are a little buttery and a little spicy and a little oniony and a little garlicky maybe, and you don't need to dip them in mustard or anything. They're just glorious by themselves. And my wife works at an Ace True Value, and they have them there, and when she brings home pretzels, we go crazy. It's like, oh, we got Dots. Yes. When is the last time, honestly, you got a product that when somebody brings it home or you have some, it's almost like celebratory. It's like, wow, we got Dots. Come on. DotsPretzels.com. Order a bunch of them. If you can't get to a store near you, check out their website, and you can find out where they are. I know they're at Hen House Market in the Casey area. I know that they're at Ace True Value in the Casey area. I know they're up and down the I-29 corridor up into North Dakota, and they are absolutely glorious, glorious pretzels. Order some, and tell them Rob Carson sent you, won't you? Okay. This story, and this is another narrative that has fallen. A couple weeks ago, we had the Covcath boys in Washington, D.C., being harassed by, and by the way, the black Israelites were never called out in the national media for harassing these kids, calling them racist names and sexist, homophobic names and all of this stuff. And then an Indian activist is a coward, by the way, and instead of confronting the people who are really causing the problem, which were the black Israelites, went after the kids. Got in this kid's face, pounding a whatever war drum, I don't know what the hell it was. And the kid stood there. And at one point, he smiled, which appeared to be a smirk to the national media, which, of course, sent out a message that this kid disrespected this man. He was a proud, white, a privileged American, and he drove this man off of his native lands, and then the Indians have suffered because of this. That kid's suing the ass off of all these media people, suing the ass off that cheap sitting BS. And they should. But this is another narrative that was passionately reinforced by the media. And another one that was easily discounted and dismissed. Here's a montage of all of those who thought that the attack on Jussie Smollett was what America really is in 2019, which is homophobic and Trump supporting and racist.
Beaten with a noose around his neck and hospitalized. Empire star Jussie Smollett was the victim of a vicious, racist, and homophobic attack.
His attackers hurled racial and homophobic slurs.
Two people yelled racist and homophobic slurs.
Racial and homophobic slurs.
Not only homophobia, we're talking about racism. We're talking about hate with steroids.
They are looking for two suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
The offenders uttered, "This is MAGA country."
The hate crime went down
This is MAGA country. Just let me recap here real quick. So, two rednecks in an area that some have described, half the people there are gay and the other half are black, and then there's the gay blacks in the middle there. So really, 2:00 in the morning, 9 below zero, Jussie Smollett goes to Subway. Really? Sure you do. Anyway, goes to Subway. He's coming home from Subway. I guess he had a foot long. Just let that go. Anyway, he comes, and he's attacked by two rednecks who pour bleach on him, presumably because they want to turn him white. Put a noose around his neck and then say, this is MAGA country. Oh, by the way, the media added that they were wearing the Make America Great Again hats.
This morning in Chicago.
Officials are investigating the alleged assault as a hate crime.
And now police say they're investigating this as a possible hate crime.
Anyone attacked in a hate crime like this is an outrage.
Like Tawana Brawley. Oh, man.
This is stomach-turning, mind-boggling information. It's out of control.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi tweeting the rape.
Now, see this. This is the media hoping and praying that this is real so they can say this is America in 2019. That's what you just heard from Dimwit, the guy there, who just, I don't even know who the guy is. That's what you heard. You want something that will reinforce this false narrative that America sucks, that we are racist and sexist and homophobic, and there are victims everywhere. That's what this is all about.
This homophobic attack on Jussie Smollett is an affront to our humanity.
And Senator Cory...
By the way, she deleted that tweet.
Booker said the vicious attack on actor Jussie was an attempted modern-day lynching.
Kamala Harris calling the attack an attempted modern-day lynching.
But I'm so shaken by the story.
Kamala Harris introduced anti-lynching legislation. Did you know that? She introduced a bill outlawing lynching, which I think is already pretty much illegal. But it was a federal law, and the lynching didn't even take place. So that's how much she bought into this. Unreal.
This is horrible to report. This is a horrible story. This is a horrible story.
Yeah. I mean, the circumstances are just horrific.
Horrendous and unacceptable.
Absolutely despicable.
Yeah, a lot of people can't believe this is actually happening in 2019.
It's hard to believe that we're reporting, that we're even saying words like this in 2019.
Yeah, because
this is America in 2019.
No, it's not. It's not America in 2019. And shame on you for even going there. It's not America in 2019. Here's Kamala Harris. Oh, wait a minute. This is good. Hold on. I'll get into this in just 1 second. Kamala Harris had to, she got confronted about her attempted lynching tweet. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is Allison Camerata. Not exactly the brightest bulb in the world. Talking about how she was surprised how many people believed Jussie Smollett.
Smollett's attorneys deny that the actor played any role in his own attack. So joining us now to talk about all of this is Charles Blow. He's an opinion columnist for the New York Times, and Brian Stelter. He's CNN's chief media correspondent. Great to have both of you here. Brian, I remember in the hours right after this happened that CNN, that our bosses were advising to pump the brakes a little bit because there were some things already that didn't add up. I was frankly surprised.
No, they weren't pumping the brakes already. You're full of crap. You bought into it. You bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Don't act like you did. Don't try to slow walk out of this because you were all sorts of invested in this narrative.
How many people jumped on board to side with Jussie Smollett before there were photos, before there were police statements, before all that stuff? And so how do you think this all... what was the trajectory of how this went wrong?
Yeah, the headline was so sensational and so disturbing. It first came out on TMZ. Not only did Smollett said he'd been attacked, but the attacker said, this is MAGA country. Well, obviously, Chicago at 2 in the morning is not MAGA country, so that didn't make sense in the first place. Lots of parts of this
didn't stop you from parroting it.
It didn't make sense. But activists, actors, Hollywood celebrities, friends of Smollett, Democratic presidential candidates, they all wanted to...
The media. You're missing something there, Bri. The media.
They were doing the right thing, saying the right thing, standing up for a victim. There's an inherent tension in this story between wanting and needing to believe victims and yet knowing that people could take advantage of that, taking advantage of the idea.
Yet you did it anyway. You did it anyway. You did it with the Covington Catholic boys. You did it with Duke Lacrosse. Because they were things that you wanted. You did it with Ferguson. You did it with Michael Brown. You did it with George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman wasn't even a white guy. You buy into it every time, and now this time you're backing out of it because it's so effing embarrassing that you went down this road and supported this bastard in Chicago who was being written out of this of his role and wanted to save his role by calling an entire group of people, that is Trump supporters, calling us racist homophobes who would commit acts of violence in such a fashion. I'm going to share with you in just a couple minutes a list of hate crimes that have taken place in the last 2 years. That never happened. They were performed by the victims on themselves, and then Trump and his supporters were blamed for it. Okay? All right. Here is what is it? Jonathan Capehart talking about the narrative that a lot of people wanted to believe.
You know, a lot of people, I think, watched Jussie Smollett go on GMA last week and was extremely emotional and was angry and sort of talked about that and talked at length about what happened. And now here we are this morning, and police are saying they want to bring him back in for questions about all this. What do you make of it?
Well, I don't know what to make of all this, because when the news came out, a lot of people, myself included, were horrified.
Absolutely.
Just the circumstances and the way he told the story, and
the circumstances and the way he told the story wasn't believable from the get-go. This is MAGA country. I mean, how stupid are you, man?
What he said happened to him sort of fit in with not a narrative, but a reality for a lot of people.
No. It's a narrative. You slipped. You screwed up. It's not a reality. It's a narrative. You slipped. You said it. You said this was something that fitted a narrative.
And the way he told the story and what he said happened to him sort of fit in with not a narrative, but a reality for a lot of people in this country since President Trump was inaugurated. There is an atmosphere.
It is a narrative. It's not a reality. It is a wow. You thou doth sayest too much.
Menace and an atmosphere of hate around the country that made it possible for people to.
The only atmosphere of hate is people hating on Donald Trump so much that they fake hate crimes.
They readily believe or want to believe Jussie Smollett.
Don't pin this on us, you ass.
But on the other hand, at the same time, there were people who immediately thought something was
red flags. So they thought there were red flags in this account and what's going on here.
Right. And my colleague at the Washington Post, Nanefwa Mumford, wrote a piece where she likened his retelling of the story to an episode of Empire. It was so over the top. January, middle of the night, 2:30 in the morning, 10 degrees, and they recognized him on the street.
And we pulled up.
And they were wearing MAGA hats, and they said, "This is MAGA country." You are an idiot. You are a fool. You are a buffoon. You are laughable. How do you get on television, man? How do you get on television and be this stupid? Here's Brian Stelter, the all-bald Brian Stelter. You know, they got some things you can do for that. They're just saying, there are some things you can do for that. I was losing my hair years ago, and there's some things you can do for it. But Brian Stelter, he is so clueless as I don't know, what is he, the whatever director or whatever. Here he said that, let me see here. Let's go with Stelter saying that the story was weaponized.
Well, now the ball is back in Jussie Smollett's court. A spokesman for the Chicago Police Department tells me they did reach out to Smollett's attorneys last night after receiving new information from those two men that had been questioned by police. What I was told by the Chicago PD just now was, we need to talk to Jussie Smollett as soon as possible. We need to ask him additional questions. So, frankly, I think the question now is, what is Smollett going to tell police? Is he going to cooperate with this investigation? Those are open questions. But because from the very beginning there were political connotations to this story that were undeniable, because sources close to Smollett said these two attackers said, this is MAGA country, and that they were Trump supporters, this became part of...
No Trump supporter has ever shouted, this is MAGA country. That's just stupid.
...and polarizing on day one. I wish it wasn't, but that is the reality. And that
he's already blaming this on Donald Trump. You stupid, bald, fat dope.
Here's a story that makes it even more troubling And obviously, again, we have to wait to see what Smollett's going to say now.
From inside, how do you think the media, the media had to cover this, and had to cover this?
S.E. Cup, I used to respect you, but honestly, you're just a tool now.
Cautiously and responsibly. How do you think, on the whole, the media has done as a job?
Strong, high-quality news organizations have tried to be very careful all along on this.
Bull crap! Did you hear the montage I played earlier?
But because TMZ said just a few hours after the alleged attack that this was a Trump supporter attack and it had political connotations, like I said, it became partisan from day one. And when you're looking at those random websites all over the web spreading information, you can
are you underwater? What the hell?
You can end up, I think, having this story was able to be weaponized in many different ways.
Okay, and who weaponized it? Who weaponized it? CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post, blah, 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 blah. Story was weaponized. Stelter went on to say that this is not about the media. It is absolutely about the media. It is 100% about the media. There was no allegedly. It was just it happened. It was just it happened. If it were a conservative being attacked, it would have been alleged. Oh, and speaking of which, we do have a couple of conservatives, a kid with a MAGA hat right here in my backyard. Literally, I live a couple miles from this mall. Kid wearing a MAGA hat is assaulted essentially verbally by a nut, by an employee who's an anti-Trump zealot. This has happened several times. Had another kid. There was two kids in a restaurant. This guy comes up, grabbed the MAGA hat off the kid's head, threw a beverage in his face. Threw his own beverage in his face. Real nice, right? Here is Charles Blow stating the obvious about Jussie Smollett, that he's a nutbag.
Elevating it to national conversation, which makes the possibility of it being a hoax that much more devastating.
But the thing is also, this also gives him some sort of an excuse for doing what he did, calling him a psychopath. But here you go.
Well, listen, if Jussie has done what the Chicago police say he has done, yes, it's not just that he's an actor, Brian. This is an insane person. This is a psychopath.
Okay, no. We're not going to dismiss him for being crazy.
Like, and there's nothing in his history that suggests that he's a psychopath.
But why
so that is why it's so hard for everybody to. That's why
he's not a psychopath. If that were the case, then all of these stories that I have here, all these stories, then all of these people are psychopaths. But this is a pathology, certainly, and it is people who are so consumed by the fact that Donald Trump is the president that they're willing to besmirch groups of people who support a political candidate and create stories and narratives that aren't true, and fake assaults and fake, verbal, physical assaults to try to pin some sort of blame on a political movement. It's not about being psychopathic, but it is about pathology.
We're waiting, trying to figure out, please go back and interview Chicago PD. Because we need to understand what's the motive, because nothing, I met him one time.
The motive, and again, I don't understand how you, sir, Mr. Blow, how you got to be where you are, because we all know what caused this. Okay, there's no mental illness here. There is just hate. There is hate for a presidential candidate and his followers. That's it. And it is, if there is hate in this country, the hate is coming from the left, and it is a deep and resounding and dangerous hate. It is a profoundly dangerous hate. And you want to talk about dividing. You want to talk about drawing a line in the sand. You don't want to do it with Trump supporters. We're better armed, physically and philosophically and intellectually. We are. You want to start a war, whether it be verbal or whatever? You don't want to do this. This hate is causing people to it's not about being crazy. This is about an unreasonable response. This is not crazy. Crazy is an excuse. This is just hate.
It was the sweetest. It was just in passing at Essence Fest, and I was with
the old Essence Fest. I wonder how many white people were there.
A girl I went to college with. She's a big fan, and she had to have a picture. He was the most gracious person, and I think that's the kind of feeling that people have on him. So if you did this, we need to know, like, are you crazy? Like, did you literally, like, lose it? Or because nothing is adding up about why he would do this.
Look, his character is being written out of the. Oh, and by the way, he is being written out of the series. All of the stuff that he shot is gone. They're removing him. They're trying to figure out how to fill the holes. He is left to the show. So unbelievable. Of course, not only the media, but politicians. They were eager to jump on the bandwagon, eager to think the worst of America. Here is Cory Booker.
Caught up with Booker today. Here's what he had to say.
Well, the information's still coming out, and I'm going to withhold until all the information actually comes out from on-the-record sources. Yeah. We know in America that bigoted and biased attacks are on the rise in a serious way. What we're seeing is attacks on people because they're different, and we all need to join together and condemn those attacks.
Okay, nonsense, gobbledygook. Attacks on people because they're different. What the hell does that mean? I'm different. I'm different than you. You're different than me. Thank God for that, right? You're saying, yeah, thank God for that. Nonsense. Bigoted and biased attacks are not on the rise. You are a fool. Oh, no, they are on the rise. Attacks on Trump supporters, they're on the rise. I mean, dramatically. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. Attacks on Trump supporters started during the campaign. People getting in line at campaign rallies, getting in faces, spraying mace, beating people up. Oh, yeah, that's where the bias crimes, and it's because Trump supporters are different, I guess. Here's Senator Booker and Senator Harris before and after with regard to Smollet, when they were very eager to support the narrative, not the reality, the narrative that racism and homophobia are on the rise in this country, and America sucks in 2019. It's an awful country.
And Senator Cory Booker said the vicious attack on actor Jussie was an attempted modern-day lynching.
Kamala Harris calling the attack an attempted modern-day lynching.
Which tweet? What tweet? About saying that it is a modern-day lynching, that...
Sorry.
Yes. Jussie Smollett.
Oh, you're kind of at a loss for words, aren't you? Because you look like a complete and utter effing fool.
Okay, so I will say this about that case. I
modern-day lynching.
That the facts are still unfolding.
No, they're not.
And I'm very concerned about, obviously...
Well, the information's still coming out, and I'm going to withhold until all the information actually comes out from on-the-record sources. We know in America that bigoted and biased attacks are on the rise.
Thank you very much for the video there. I do love me some Grabian News. If you don't have Grabian News as a favorite on your browser, you really need to, because it's pretty awesome. So there you go, before and after. Groveling before and after. Yeah. Here we go again. And you know what? And this will go away. This will go away. And another story will replace it. And it'll be, Trump supporters doing whatever. Here are a list of hate crimes in the Trump era. Here we are. Let's do story time, shall we, kids? I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's talk about a sponsor. Sponsor, Pit Barrel Cookers. Pit Barrel Cookers are amazing. Glorious, glorious cookers. They are they're created by Noah and Amber Glanville. And Noah came back from Afghanistan and suffered from PTSD. And he landed, and a group of veterans made barbecue for he and his platoon, and he said the smell made me feel like I was home. It grounded him. It made him feel like he was finally home, could leave that hellhole behind. So he started building these cookers, and they are glorious. Oh my God, they're glorious beasts. That one on the left there is the classic. It's amazing. 18 inches across, about 3 feet tall. Put the coals in the bottom, forget about it. Hang the meat in there, or you can use it as a grill. And just it surrounds the meat with glorious, glorious smoke. And you can make, like what I did there, pork butt. You can make the brisket there. You can make the ribs. You can make burgers, all of that stuff. That's food I made there on the right. Pitbarrelcooker.com. Pitbarrelcooker.com. It's an amazing product. It is absolutely wonderful. Learn the ways of the smoke. Learn the ways of the smoke. Oh, by the way, I want to mention something. I do another podcast. There's a website, which is a radio station called Spoony.com, Spoony.com, I'm launching a food podcast there. Check it out. You can see the other side of me, and there are other sides of me. Some sides you don't want to see, to be quite honest. But the whole foodie thing is a big deal to me. I'm a passionate cook, and food brings us together. I like to say we can disagree on politics, we won't disagree on ribs unless you're a vegan, and if that's the case, you have an eating disorder. All right. A Muslim woman, University of Michigan, national attention, like the Washington Post, claimed a 20-something man threatened to light her on fire if she didn't remove her hijab. It's fake. Taylor Volk, openly bisexual senior at North Park University, said he was attacked. Turns out it was herself. She said it was following hateful notes and emails following Trump's election. It was fake. Philadelphia woman Ashley Boyer claimed in November 2019 that she was harassed at a gas station by a white Trump-supporting males, one of whom pulled a weapon on her. Boyer claimed that men proceeded to talk about the election and how they're glad they won't have to deal with any N-words much longer. Boyer deleted her post after it went viral and claimed the men had been caught and were facing criminal charges. Local police debunked the account. 18-year-old Muslim woman, 2016, claimed in November that two white men, one of whom was wearing a Trump hat, attacked and robbed her, taking her wallet and hijab while yelling racial slurs. Turns out in Lafayette, Louisiana, that was not true. Church organist was arrested in May 2017. He was found responsible for spray painting a swastika anti-gay slur and the words Hail Trump or Heil Trump on his own church. 18-year-old Muslim woman, 2016, December. New York Times, breathless headline, claims that she was attacked by a group of Trump supporters on a New York subway while onlookers did nothing. Yasmin Saweed went on to confess she made the whole thing up. Denton, Texas, David Williams set fire to his own car and painted N-word lovers on his home's garage in an apparent attempt to stage a hate crime. They collected more than $5,000 before the hoax was exposed. Okay. Let's see. Sarah Harvard claimed that a Native American, in which a Native American claimed to have been harassed by an alleged Trump supporter who thought she was a Mexican, despite no evidence backing up the claim. Harvard spread the fake story. Turns out Daily Caller exposed that story. Muslim student, Beloit College, wrote anti-Muslim graffiti on his own dorm room. The student was reportedly motivated by a desire to seek attention. Media outlets, let's see, wanted to find out who's behind a string of bomb threats targeting synagogues and Jewish schools. Remember that? Before linking the threats to Trump. A U.S.-Israeli man was charged in 2017 and indicted in 2018 for the threats. A former reporter for Intercept was also charged, not Trump supporters. Let's see what else here. Air Force Academy thrown into turmoil September 2017 when horrific racist notes were found at the Academy's preparatory school. Go home, N-worder. The superintendent went viral with an impassioned speech addressing the racist notes. 2 months later, authorities determined one of the students did it. Student at K-State University filed a police report in November 17 over racist graffiti left on his car. Go home, N-word, and whites only. He did it himself. Yeah. B. A Texas waitress apologized in 2018 after blaming local law enforcement for an offensive note targeting Mexicans. She later admitted writing the note herself. There was the whole University of Missouri thing. And then, of course, the Covington catastrophe. National media outlets pounced on a selected edited video from the March for Life that showed Native American activist Nathan Phillips, chief sitting BS, beating a drum in front of a boisterous group of boys from Cov-Cath, and they were all racist and all that stuff. Nick Sandman is going to be a very wealthy man. He'll never have to work because he's suing all of these bastards. Phillips said these young men were beastly, and these old black individuals was their prey, and I stood between them. And so they needed their pounds of flesh, and they were looking at me for that. He's going to get his ass sued, although he's not worth anything. He's a completely worthless person. Another MAGA attack, everybody. Here's a real one. Here's a real one. This is at Oak Park Mall, right behind my house, actually, in lovely Overland Park, Kansas, near Kansas City. Kids goes in wearing a MAGA hat. He's 14 years old. One of the employees says, F you to the guy. Here's mom. She's not too happy about it.
Nothing to you. And what did you say to my son? To my 14-year-old?
He said, F you.
What did
sure he's ready.
What did you say again?
I said, F you.
Where's your name? Let's go.
What? I was told.
We're going to the cash register now, everybody.
I'm not touching him.
Let's
talk to the manager.
Let's find your manager.
Yeah, go to the manager.
All right, 1 second. Yeah, I'm coming.
Thank you. Yeah. He admitted he said it. There you go. Well, this is harassment.
My son walked into the store. That gentleman first told him, take off your hat. He said nothing to him. 14-year-old child. Then he said, F you to my son. My son said nothing to him, did nothing. That is a disrespectful punch right there. He did nothing.
He's not working there no more. Folks had said, we will let the employee go. He's no longer with the company. His actions were in contrast with our values and beliefs. Yeah, might have to go up there today. Stop by. Hey, how you doing? Wear a MAGA hat. I mean, this is the actions of an individual. Remember the vape shop guy who just went bananas on the Trump supporter? These are all... Think about this. Think about what would have happened if white guy in a shoe store or a vape store went after somebody wearing a Barack Obama shirt and just saying, F you, you're, get the hell out. Can you imagine the media? Honestly, think about it. The uproar would be palpable everywhere. Everywhere. But this is happening all the time. Here's a story of a man named... Okay. Here is a story. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Guy goes in. Yeah, here we go. I just have the audio on this one. This is a story out of the one at the Sam's Club. I'm not sure. I think this is in... I'm not going to say where it is. Anyway, it just happened. And apparently, Warren County, I think this might be Ohio. Anyway, guy goes into a Sam Club with his wife wearing MAGA hats, and somebody didn't like it.
A Tennessee man named James Phillips is now in jail on a wanton endangerment charge after the alleged altercation. According to the police report, officers were called to Sam's Club due to a report of a person with a gun. They say it happened yesterday. The report says they found Phillips in the parking lot with a Glock 40 caliber and a round chambered in his back pocket and 2 additional magazines in another pocket. The report says he admitted to flipping off a couple inside the store because they were wearing Make America Great Again hats. I spoke with the alleged victim on the phone tonight, Terry Pierce.
I have as much right to wear that hat and to support my country and my president as he has not to. And I said, you flipped me and my wife off because of the hats I'm wearing? And he started cussing and screaming and said, yes, I did. So I flipped him back off. And I said, take that, buddy. It goes 2 ways. And that's when he pulled a 40 caliber out and stuck it in my face and backed up and said, it's a good day for you to die.
He needs to go to jail for a while. Obviously. Needs to go to jail for a while. tpublic.com, they print my shirts. Just go to tpublic.com, look up Conservatees. 80-plus designs, politically incorrect stuff. Some political, some not. Just fun. Put them on shirts. Put them on. Put those designs on coffee mugs. Put them on phone case covers. Put them on your laptop covers. mouse pads, whatever. Have it tattooed on your forehead. I don't know. Anyway, just go to tpublic.com, conservatees. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, today's idiotic... how do maybe I should make a special segment. Today's idiotic exaltation by Ocasio-Cortez. Well, maybe that's not. But anyway, here's daily stupidity from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez comparing the southern border wall to another famous wall.
No matter how you feel about the wall, I think it's a moral abomination. I think it's like the Berlin Wall.
Let's hear that again.
No matter how you feel about the wall, I think it's a moral abomination. I think it's like the Berlin Wall.
Okay, no, it's actually not like the Berlin Wall at all. Because, see, the Berlin Wall kept people in. And when people tried to cross the line of demarcation between East Germany and West Germany, they were shot. You are such an idiot. My God in heaven, she is such an idiot. Alexandra Idiota Cortez. Let's wrap things up with something a little lighter, shall we? Here's your new snow destination. Oh, and by the way, coming up. Graphic footage of a lion attack. Do not leave your smart device. It's coming up. What do you say we go skiing, everybody? Are we in Colorado? No. Are we in Utah? No. Are we in Kansas? No. We are not. We're in Vegas, everybody. Las Vegas, everybody. Yeah, I saw Vegas. I don't know if it snowed when Elvis was there, but yeah. Not been measurable snow in the desert city since December 2008. But they got a couple of inches of snow in Vegas. And we're having a very, very cold winter. In the Midwest cross country, record-setting snowfalls, freezing cold temperatures, and nobody's saying global warming anymore. Because it doesn't fit the narrative that the weather is controlled by man. Finally, before I go, brace yourselves. Footage of a lion attacking a human. You might want to cover the kid's eyes on this one. This is in Switzerland. No, this is in Australia. A Swiss man, Dean Schneider, the victim.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, wait. No, you're just a big kitty cat. Oh, you're just a big kitty. Oh, you're just a big kitty. Yes, you are. Look at the kitty. Yeah, there's the cats hugging him and kissing him and all that stuff. Why are lions so cool and just house cats just suck? Lions are cool. Look at this. Look at it. You're going to kiss. And they like to be loved. Like like lions actually care about people when they've been raised by people. You've seen footage of, look, he's giving the kisses. He's giving like a dog. Why do house cats suck? Why are they such awful animals?
You becoming a big boy.
He's a big boy. Oh, yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, there you go. I think lions are kind of cool when they're not eating me. When they're friendly, lovable lions. Thought that was kind of cool. That's going to do it for the show. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. And you know what? If you would support the range, that would be huge. If you support all of the folks on the range, okay? Make it your home page on the range. If you could just put that. Never mind. Okay, yeah. Let's. Then that's not good. Do appreciate you watching. Go to pitbarrelcooker.com. Go to Dots Pretzels, will ya? And share this video with others and support the free speech and being funny. All right, all of that stuff. Thank you for joining me, guys. God bless you. I really appreciate it. See you again soon. If you would please share with others this show. Tell them about this guy named Rob Carson that somehow has been a broadcaster for 30 years that nobody knows about. Tell them about this Rob Carson guy who does a show out of Kansas City. And let's boost those views. Okay, have a good one. See you soon, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram. I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now.